Teresita Consuelo Salazar was born at 10 a.m. on April 22, 1929, in San Juan, Pueblo, where her dad ran the San Juan Mercantile. She had 9 siblings. She graduated from Espanola High School in 1946. She died on Sunday, December 16, 2018, at 89 years of age. And there's never been another Connie since. She's one of a kind. Connie was a maverick. She broke gender barriers, racial barriers, and glass ceilings without setting out to do so. Connie did things because she wanted to, and she didn't see any reason why she couldn't. Who would have thought she would travel on a tour of Europe as a single woman in 1953 and be the one to hold up the Leaning Tower of Pisa? At least that's what the photograph shows. Or be crowned Queen of the Charity Ball in Washington, D.C., and discover her picture the next day on the front page of the Sunday Washington Post, described as the slim, dark-haired, brown-eyed girl and an Espanola beauty. Or that this Spanish beauty would meet a young man from Kentucky and Washington, fall in love, marry, and start a family. Or when John F. Kennedy was a U.S. Senator, she would be taken to work on Capitol Hill in D.C. with her neighbor and good friend, Evelyn Lincoln. Evelyn's government car service would pick them up daily, and the rest is history. Evelyn was Senator Kennedy's secretary at the time and would go on to be JFK's personal secretary when he became president, as well as a lifelong friend of Connie's. Or return to her hometown of Espanola, New Mexico, with her husband's newly minted law degree and open his law practice together. Or that she would be his first legal secretary. Or host the Añate Fiesta Council Party at her home, but make the mistake of placing a huge Bienvenido sign at the gate, which meant she had a lot more guests than she expected when the whole Espanola Valley showed up. Then came the family years. Time to care for her daughters, to be their taxi driver, help them with school projects, enjoy family vacations, and train them all to work at Dad's law office. Or step in at the last minute to hike through the Pecos wilderness for 5 days with Francis and Chrissy when the needed Girl Scout chaperone backed out. Or take her daughter Diane and her friend Molly by train to Disneyland and other wonderful places for the experience of a lifetime before Molly had to move away. Or chaperone numerous McCurdy ski school trips through the years and learn to ski too. Or imagine being her daughter, looking out your 6th grade classroom window and seeing your mother ride their horse Trojan around the playground chasing her Black Angus cattle, obviously having escaped from their land. We don't think she had ever been on a horse before or since. There was still time for Connie to be Connie, involved in the community. Garden Club, Santa Fe Opera Guild, Girl Scout cookie chair, becoming an expert on the quiet title genealogies for the law office, roaming the northern villages to track down heirs to disputed property boundaries. And there were always building projects, and there were always opportunities to press on as Connie the Maverick. Like the day she decided their bedroom needed another window, so she found her sledgehammer and knocked out a hole in the thick adobe wall. Problem solved. Or the times she decided to bring home a baby pig or a baby goat in the back seat of her Cadillac to add to their sort of farm. Or to take oil painting classes with Ted Opperman, or cooking classes at Swan Lake, or secret piano lessons surprising her daughters with a little concert, or weaving classes at Ortega's Weaving Shop. She never stopped learning, never stopped discovering, and never stopped trying new things. Or who would have thought she'd break her leg on the slopes of Santa Fe Ski Basin 5 days before her city council election, and be accused of getting the sympathy vote. Her daughter Diane caught a glimpse of her mom, known as the Yellow Streak, in her bumblebee yellow ski jacket, being whisked down the mountain in a ski patrol sled. The Rio Grande Sun captioned a picture of her with her leg in a cast, wrapped in her bathrobe, phone to her ear as, quote, "Bad break. City Council candidate Connie Thompson broke her leg on the ski slopes Thursday, but this didn't stop her from campaigning by telephone. It must have worked, as she won her council race in Tuesday's election," end quote. And she was sworn in with her leg in a cast. Nothing stopped her from campaigning in subsequent races. Some she won and some she lost. won city council race 3 times, and 1 race for mayor. She campaigned and lost races for State Senate District 23rd seat in Los Alamos and part of Santa Fe counties, for Santa Fe County Assessor, for re-election as mayor, and for her last run for city council. Connie never gave up. She always pushed through, win or lose. Or who would have thought she would become one of the first Hispanic female mayors in the United States, the first female mayor for the city of Espanola, New Mexico, and its first female city councilor. Or discover and honor unknown fiber artisans Agata Martinez and Yanis Kazakowski during her term as president of the New Mexico State Arts Commission. Or be selected as the 1975 Woman of the Year along with Keith McGill, friend and fellow church member, as Man of the Year. The picture proves it. Or convince a police officer that she had to hurry to catch a flight to meet with President Reagan in Washington when he pulled her over for speeding. She didn't let his, "Yeah, lady," stop her from meeting a president. Or convince a mechanic near La Bajada that she'd mind the store while he'd fix her emergency car trouble en route to catch yet another flight for a D.C. convention. What she didn't anticipate was the busload of Japanese tourists that would stop for snacks. They didn't know any English, and she didn't know how to work a cash register. Who knows if that mechanic made or lost money that day? Or escape being subpoenaed as a city councilor in a lawsuit by catching a Greyhound bus headed east, landing in her daughter Frances's dorm room in New Jersey. How does a college student conceal their fugitive mother? Or receive a brass plaque from Espanola's field workers, i.e. garbage collectors, in great appreciation of the pay raise she advocated for them as city councilor. That plaque was one of her most prized possessions. Or be the one to successfully negotiate a lease with the Pueblo of Santa Clara for a much-needed sewage treatment plant. We understand they need her help again. Or that she would often be asked to speak on being a woman in politics, encouraging and mentoring women to run for office. Or that she would write the What's Happening on the Social Scene weekly column for the Santa Fe New Mexican. Or that her Tommy would fight a hard battle with Parkinson's disease for years, with her by his side, and die 28 years before her on December 2nd, 1990. Or that she would find new life working the New Mexico legislature for many years as legislative aide to Michael Olguin, the House Majority Leader, where she decided the best use of a computer was to cover her monitor with Post-it note reminders, because who needs a computer? Or not once, but twice bringing back the Espanola Valley Chamber of Commerce from the brink of extinction. The Maverick rode a tricycle for Spirit Day. No one has more spirit than Connie Thompson, and no one dared to say no to chamber membership dues when Connie came to visit them. Or that she would marry David Ortega in 1995 on her birthday, with a surprise 7-inch snowstorm knocking out all the power and delighting the snow-playing grandchildren. Rumor has it the power came back on right after she said, "I do." Or that she and David would travel the world together and even ride a camel in Egypt. Or travel to the tip of Chile with David and her sisters to see the icebergs. Or walk on the Great Wall of China for her 75th birthday with her friend Roz Rosenberg. Or visit her friend Dee Porlier from time to time. Or collect $200 for her fellow dignitaries for much-needed windows in an orphanage while on a fact-finding mission to Nicaragua. Or travel with ambassadors of goodwill to promote New Mexico in both England and Mexico. In her twilight years, Connie found new life and new activities at La Vida Llena Life Plan Community in Albuquerque, where she lived for 10 years. She could always be found at every bingo game and loved to play Scrabble weekly with the gals. She went to all the activities and never missed a yoga class or exercise class until the past year. She treasured her great attendance certificate for fitness classes. Connie became an author at La Vida Llena. She contributed a chapter to Turning Points in Women's Lives from the 20th to the 21st Century. Her chapter was Me, a Woman Running for City Council, paying tribute to her husband's affirmation of her run. If you don't like What's going on at City Hall? Why don't you run for a seat on the council? So she did. Or that this woman, who loved to dance, would find her best dance partners to be her brothers, Johnny, Raymond, Guadalupe, Tim, David, Orlando, and Arthur. Or that she would enjoy parties and family gatherings, births and weddings with her brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law. Or that she would help and support her sister Sarah through many tough times. Or that she would invite her brother Arthur to live with her in Washington so that he could go to page school. But her real reason may have been to have him help take care of little Francis. Or that she would be introduced to her husband Tommy by her brother David, his classmate at Georgetown University. Or that in grade school she would take her little sister Mary to school in San Juan Pueblo as her show and tell for the day and accidentally drop her in the ditch on the way back home. Or that she would always open her home to others, whether exchange students or those in need of a family or a place to live, many from different countries. She claimed at least 6+ additional daughters who lived at their home and are still part of their family life. Norma, Helen, Gay, Annette, Kitty, and Louise. And she made sure they were all included in the family portrait. Drive cars to New York for Francis's family, or move to Albuquerque to help Chrissy's family, or fly to Arizona at the drop of her hat to care for Diane's family during emergencies and illness, or that she would visit and spoil her grandchildren and live to meet her great-grandchildren. Connie loved her daughters and their families dearly. But that was Connie. What a legacy she leaves. Nothing stopped her. The ski slope yellow streak describes Connie to a T. Always trying new things and never ever giving up. Some called her stubborn. Others called her a go-getter. Her tenacity was evident in all. Connie lives in each of us. She's not really gone. That just wouldn't be Connie. She's just off to break new barriers. She was a daughter, a sister-in-law, a wife, a mother, a mother-in-law, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a city councilor, a mayor, a public servant, an executive director, a mentor, a president of commissions, a member of boards of directors, an artist, a budding piano player, a world traveler, a farmer of sorts, an adobe maker, a builder, and a sledgehammer slinger. Connie raised 3 strong daughters, Frances, Chrissy, and Diane. They salute her as the good mom. May her legacy live on in all of us, breaking through our own barriers. She's Connie. She'll always just be Connie. Perhaps Connie was preparing us all for this moment and said it best in her 1990 Christmas letter when she shared the news of her husband Tommy's passing. Our lives are very fragile, while memories are so strong. May those memories sustain you as they deeply sustain us. So here we are, grieving the loss of a bigger-than-life Connie, but she's ahead of the game. She penned words 28 years ago encouraging us to keep the memory strong, and so we shall honor her by keeping the memories strong. Can you hear that rustling? Listen, do you hear it? Don't worry, it's just Connie checking in, banging her way into heaven, rearranging the furniture, getting everybody to toe the line, and settling in as the mayor of heaven. As she would say it, I'm just keeping busy.